So, do you guys remember when I said that Lord Tensen was probably a type of race that was on this island? Well, that's not entirely, correct. Apparently, Lord Tensen is actually one deity split up into 7 different bodies. And those 7 govern the island that, all these criminals and executioners are on. Basically, their job is to keep the peace, per se. The peace of the island, that is. And apparently, all the remnants of the island were once human at some point. So, that guy Boko, whatever, no, Hoko, I think it was. Is it Boko or Hoko? Let me check my notes real quick with that. Pretty sure it's Boko. See here? Hoko. Okay. There we go. I'm sorry about that. That he was once human too, but due to basically a type of aging, even though they're technically immortal, they become more tree-like. Which would explain when Nioi almost got killed by Gabimaru. The reason why he was looking kind of oldish, and also why there were, kind of plant life things happening. Now, what's interesting too is that this was mentioned by the criminal Choze, that he noticed that when he cut off, this Lord Tensen thing in half, that its top part grew a lot quicker than its middle section. Thus, believing that, okay, these are more akin to plant life than like humans. Because if such was the case, then cutting off from the top would have, killed immediately. He gets his confirmation confirmed when confronted by this creature called a Doshi, I believe it was, who are direct disciples of the Tensen. And basically, Doshis live in the same area that Tensen lives, which is Horai, I believe was what's called. And so, by fighting this Doshi in particular, he discovers that, okay, the Doshi, or rather, possibly also Tensen as well, they can be hurt just as long as it's kind of from the waist and down. But they can only be hurt so much unless the person uses Tao against them. Now, Tao is basically this story's hard magic system. There's no other way really to explain it. And basically with Tao, the easiest explanation of this is that one must accept both their strengths and their weaknesses. One must be able to accept the fact that there are strong and weak entities around them. Once they can do that, once they can accept that yin and yang, then they can go into perceiving what Tao is. Now, Choze, being the king of adaptation that he is, now, by adaptation, I don't mean like adapting a source material into another type of material, like a book to a movie. By adaptation, I mean being able to adapt to his surroundings. Really mastered Tao, or rather, got to a very proficient use of Tao with little to no ease. Meanwhile, Gabimaru, who barely started getting used to it, actually suffered from its side effects. Now, don't exactly know if Choze suffered as well, because that was not seen, but Gabimaru suffered because Tao essentially is life force. It's essentially using your own life force. So now, since some of the main characters know what Tao is and know how to use it, this means that the playing field has now went from basically being the Tensen up here to now a few of the criminals going right alongside with them, which I believe that at some point a good number of the Asaemon will probably reach that level as well, possibly be able to fight alongside with the criminals that are already on the island. There's also a way to strengthen Tao, and that is through different forms of meditation and being calm with oneself in serenity, as well as sexual intercourse known as Botsu Jutsu, which is what these Doshi things wanted to do with Mei. Also to note that just as Gabimaru had predicted, there are going to be other ninjas of the Iwagakure that are going to arrive on the island. So we might get to see them face off against Gabimaru or face off against other people, as well as a couple more of the Yasaiwan clan are going to be heading towards the island too. Respectively, the number 3 and number 2 Itoryu rank members. Jika and Shugen. Jika being number 3 and Jugen being number 2. Apparently Jugen has been waiting for Izen's word, but since 3 days have passed, so I'm not too sure if this is a flashback per se, but apparently it's been, according to the final chapter of Volume 4, that essentially this is 3 days, that they have been on the island for 3 days, and it seems that the Shogun is getting impatient. So he's sending more people to the island. Dumbass. But, yeah. Oh, this Jika guy. Okay, so this guy actually managed to escape from the island after setting foot on it. And he managed to kill one of the Soshi that was, well, I guess you can say guarding the currents of the island. Now, these Soshi in particular are the same Soshi that prevented Nurugai and Tenzen from leaving the island. Prevented those two from leaving, which is why those two went back to the island to try to find a different route. And we all know how that ended up. So yeah. So this guy escaped, killed one of these monsters, and kind of forgot to mention about these creatures when he was giving his testimony, basically. Now, if he did mention those creatures, I get this bad feeling that more than likely they probably would have killed him for making a mockery of the Shogun, or attempting to make a mockery of the Shogun, because I guess like back in that time period, you know, you had to be very careful with your words, because if you said something the wrong way, or if it was interpreted wrong and it wasn't meant to be, you could basically see yourself in jail for a very long time, or executed, probably on the spot. And shit, since the guys at Simon and Shugen is also Simon, and if they wanted him dead, Shugen could have just lopped his head right the fuck off. Now, there's a couple cool moments in this volume, that I particularly loved. One, a couple of these Doshi did this technique where they basically like became basically the Soshi became their armor. Now, when it was Abba versus his Doshi, the thing tried to do the whole armor deal, but didn't get a chance to really do it. Meanwhile, the Blade Dragon dude and Gabimaru, their Doshis, respectively, that they were fighting, did the exact same thing and succeeded. One Doshi was like utilizing all the centipedes that were around there, and around the vicinity. Another Doshi was utilizing all of the human-faced moths or butterflies, whatever the fuck those things are. And such a cool-ass technique. I love it. I kind of wonder, honestly, if the Tensen can do the same thing. But would Lord Tensen actually need to do that? Because it seems like Lord Tensen has such a unique aspect of Tao that he's basically been training, or it's been training for thousands of years. Possibly that technique doesn't really need to be used. Oh yeah, apparently Tensen has been fucking himself or itself for a long time, which is why he keeps switching between man and woman, man and woman. The man and woman equates of yin and yang, and that's just weird. Also makes me wonder that maybe at some point Gabimaru might have to sleep with one of the women on the island to further increase his Tao. Which means that he might have to cheat on his wife. Now, it would be crazy if, for some reason, his wife ended up on the island. Actually, you know what? I can see that happening, because it seems like the head ninja of the Iwagakure village, seems like that guy's kind of a dickhead. And I could totally see him sending his, I believe that was his daughter actually, sending his own daughter onto the island to piss off Gabimaru. And possibly, maybe she'll be sent there with a couple other ninjas, and will be used as leverage to get Gabimaru to do their bidding. You know, use her as a hostage, basically. Oh yeah, Gabimaru made friends with the Blade Dragon dude, and his, well, I say friends in the most loose term possible, because basically they all agree that they want to kill Lord Tensen, or at least kill one of them. But makes me wonder that, you know, if one dies, could the others do a form of cannibalism and consume that dead version of Tensen, a dead, let's say the personality of Tensen, okay, and take that into their own being? That's what I'm wondering. Alright, so what did you guys think of Hell's Paradise Jigokuraku Volume 4? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. If you would be so kind, please give this video a thumbs up. Hit that notification icon. That way you will know when a new video from myself comes out. Alright, stay blessed.